In the early 15th century, the Mediterranean was a cauldron of competing empires, each vying for dominance over trade routes, ports, and strategic territories. The Republic of Venice, a maritime powerhouse, had built its wealth and influence on its control of the seas. Across the Aegean, the Ottoman Empire, under the ambitious Sultan Murad II, was rapidly expanding its dominion, swallowing Byzantine territories and threatening the fragile balance of power in the region. It was against this backdrop that the First Ottoman-Venetian War erupted, a conflict born of ambition, desperation, and the struggle for survival. The spark, Venice seizes Thessalonica. The story begins in 1423, in the once great Byzantine city of Thessalonica. Once a jewel of the Byzantine Empire, the city was now a shadow of its former self, weakened by decades of internal strife, economic decline, and the relentless advance of the Ottomans. The Byzantine Emperor, John VIII Palaiologos, faced an impossible choice: lose Thessalonica to the Ottomans or seek help from an outside power. Desperate, he turned to Venice, offering the city to the Republic in exchange for protection. Venice, ever the opportunist, saw a chance to expand its influence in the Aegean. The Venetians accepted the offer and sent a fleet to take control of Thessalonica. The city's inhabitants, weary of constant threats, initially welcomed the Venetians as saviors. But this move was a double-edged sword. While Venice gained a valuable foothold, it also drew the ire of Sultan Murad II, who viewed Thessalonica as rightfully his. The Ottoman response: Murad II was a shrewd and determined ruler, and he was not about to let Venice stand in the way of his ambitions. For the Ottomans, Thessalonica was more than just a city, it was a strategic gateway to the Balkans and a symbol of their growing power. Murad began preparing for war, marshalling his forces and laying plans to reclaim the city. The Venetians, for their part, were confident in their ability to defend Thessalonica. Their navy was the envy of the Mediterranean, and their wealth seemed limitless. But they underestimated the Ottomans' resolve and the challenges of holding a city surrounded by hostile territory. The stage was set for a clash between two rising powers. The siege begins in 1426. Ottoman forces began tightening their grip on Thessalonica. They blockaded the city, cutting off its supply lines and isolating it from the outside world. The Venetians, realizing the gravity of the situation, sent reinforcements and supplies, but the Ottomans' control of the land made it difficult to sustain the city. Inside Thessalonica, conditions grew dire. Food became scarce, and disease spread among the population. The Venetians, despite their best efforts, struggled to maintain order. The city's Greek inhabitants, caught between two foreign powers, grew increasingly resentful. Many began to question whether Venetian rule was any better than Ottoman domination. The fall of Thessalonica: by 1430, the situation had reached a breaking point. Murad II, determined to end the standoff, launched a full-scale assault on Thessalonica. The Ottoman army, bolstered by seasoned troops and advanced siege weaponry, overwhelmed the city's defenses. The Venetians, outnumbered and outmaneuvered, fought valiantly but could not hold out against the relentless Ottoman onslaught. On March 29, 1430, Thessalonica fell to the Ottomans. The city was sacked, and its inhabitants suffered greatly. The Venetians, humiliated and defeated, were forced to retreat. The fall of Thessalonica marked a turning point in the war and a significant blow to Venetian prestige. The aftermath: the loss of Thessalonica forced Venice to confront the harsh reality of Ottoman power. In the aftermath of the city's fall, the Republic sought to negotiate a peace treaty with Murad II. The terms were harsh. Venice agreed to pay an annual tribute to the Ottomans and relinquish its claims to Thessalonica. The war had cost Venice dearly, both in terms of resources and reputation. For the Ottomans, the capture of Thessalonica was a major victory. It solidified their control over the Balkans and demonstrated their growing military prowess. Murad II emerged from the conflict stronger and more confident, setting the stage for further Ottoman expansion. A legacy of conflict: the First Ottoman-Venetian War was a harbinger of things to come. It marked the beginning of a centuries-long struggle between the two powers, a series of conflicts that would shape the history of the Mediterranean. For Venice, the war was a sobering reminder of the limits of its power. For the Ottomans, it was a stepping stone on the path to empire. In the end, the story of the First Ottoman-Venetian War is one of ambition, resilience, and the relentless march of history. It is a tale of a city caught between two worlds, and of the men and women who fought to shape their destiny. Though the war ended in defeat for Venice, it was only the opening chapter in a saga that would continue for centuries. Key figures: Sultan Murad II, the Ottoman Sultan whose ambition and determination drove the conquest of Thessalonica. John VIII Palaiologos, the Byzantine Emperor who ceded Thessalonica to Venice in a desperate bid for protection. Venetian commanders, the leaders of Venice's forces, who struggled to defend Thessalonica against overwhelming odds. Key lessons: the war highlighted the importance of strategic alliances and the dangers of overextension. It demonstrated the growing power of the Ottoman Empire and the challenges faced by European powers encountering it. The fall of Thessalonica underscored the human cost of war, as the city's inhabitants bore the brunt of the conflict. The First Ottoman-Venetian War may have been a relatively short chapter in the long history of the Mediterranean, but its impact was profound. It set the stage for centuries of rivalry and conflict, a testament to the enduring struggle for power and survival in a rapidly changing world.